Alright, a little update on the Scout project. Now have a manual transmission in place of the automatic transmission. Got fuel pressure regulator kind of mocked up. Had the engine running off of its own fuel system. And kind of got a radiator sitting there just for temporary, just to kind of make sure everything was going to work. Got it lined up with the Scout just to kind of give a better idea of what all's going to have to be changed on the frame yet. This is the actual back bumper of the Scout. I'm going to have to do a little more cutting on the frame, and I think I can make that fit fine. It's kind of hard to tell from here, but the shifter of the Blazer is actually pretty well lined up with the shifter that's in the Scout. So that should work out pretty well. The only thing that I'm kind of running into an issue up here is the motor in the Blazer chassis is actually going to be further forward than what the motor is in the Scout. So that's going to put the front of the motor from the Blazer, kind of hard to see here, that's going to put it kind of in this general area. So I'll have to lose this radiator core support, will have to come out of here. The back of the motor is kind of going to be in this area somewhere, so that's going to leave plenty of room to do whatever you want back here. I may make a false firewall back here to kind of fill in the gap. Once I get the body set on that chassis, I'll be able to tell a little more. But that's going to leave not very much room for a radiator and cooling fan, so that could get quite interesting. We'll just have to see. Once I start putting the Scout body over on this chassis, we'll just have to see what it looks like. But I have done not any modifications to the Blazer chassis at all. A person could, if they wanted to, move the motor mounts back on the chassis. You'd only get about 4 inches all you're going to get, then you're going to start hitting cross members. So I don't really want to go into that, because then you're going to have to shorten this drive shaft, and then you'd have to lengthen the front drive shaft. And I don't really want to mess with all that. So we're going to leave things as they are, and we're just going to make it work. Now the Scout body, I believe, is going to set up a bit higher on this chassis, or we'll have to, because you got shock towers back here that's going to have to clear a little bit. But that's just going to have to be stuff once I get the body moved over and just check things out. That's just what we're going to have to try and see what happens. But I think, like, this bumper now is sitting on the tail pieces of the frame. I can cut that back considerably yet. And then, of course, the front frame of the Blazer, it sticks out considerably further. So I'll have to cut some of that off. But then also will leave me room if I want to add a winch on the front. I can do that. So we'll just have to play with it once we get to that point.